we've been discussing things that happened in show business, stage and screen, but of course it was a weekend that also had some very, very sad things. The controversial doctor, George Tiller, one of the few doctors who performed late-term abortions, was gunned down in a Kansas church while his wife and daughter looked on. And hours later, a man named Scott Roeder, who had strong anti-abortion views, his wife said it led to their divorce, is now allegedly the man who has done this. He supposedly had a criminal history. In any event, there's no excuse for violence, but
it was in a church, too.
It was in a church, but we're talking about the fact that there's still enormous controversy.
Yeah.
In any event, so let's go from that sadness to something that I hope will make us smile, and that is that Sherry, at the ripe old age of went to her first prom.
I did. I went to my prom at... You guys, I had never gone to my prom. I had never been to my prom. I was a Jehovah's Witness, so I wasn't able to go to my prom. So I went back to my old alma mater, Hoffman Estates High School back in Illinois, and I didn't have a date. And the person who asked me out was, I don't know if you guys remember, Montel Vontavious Porter, who's the WWE United States champ. He asked me to my prom. He did. He took me to my prom. He got to meet my family. My dad laid down the law. My family, my stepmom laid down the law. He told him no drinking, have my daughter back home in time. And so we went to the prom, and he rented this 25-foot Hummer limo and took me to the prom. Look at that limo. It seated 22 people, but it was just MVP and I. And this is our prom picture. And I'm wearing my little cheesy corsage, and we had an amazing time.
But what are the kids? I mean, here they're having their own thing, and in comes you and him and
I know, it was like 1,000 17-year-olds who were screaming when we came in.
Happy
they was really excited because everybody watches The View. Their moms watch The View and aunts, and they knew, MVP from watching the WWE. But I knew what the Jonas Brothers felt like because we were dancing, and they crowded around us, and they were all dancing, and we got to crown the king and queen. And even at the end, he had chocolate-covered strawberries, and he had champagne, even though my dad told him no drinking. He was like, yeah, whatever. He had the champagne in the thing, and even at the end,
Did he kiss you?
I was just going to ask that. Did he kiss you goodnight?
Yeah.
Is this going to go any further?
Well, you actually get to see the whole thing June 15th. We got the whole thing. Yeah, I'll show you guys the whole piece. Will it go any further? I don't know.
But you like him, though, don't you?
Well, he's very nice.
Play hard to get. You know how men are.
Okay.
What was your curfew?
My curfew? My dad told him 10. I think we got in at 2 in the morning. Yeah.
That's sort of the way it seems to be going. Yeah. There was another event. I mean, there were lots of events. Where I was yesterday, there are lots of parades coming on. I think in 2 weeks is the big Puerto Rican parade in New York, and yesterday was the Israeli Day parade that marched up Fifth Avenue, and that was.
Remember when Mayor Koch was mayor? On Puerto Rican Day Parade, he got on camera and he goes, "Today, I'm a Puerto Rican."
Every day they parade. I am whatever. When I see so many of them, and I see the young kids and everything, it's very touching. But also, this Friday was the last time that Jay Leno was on in his time slot. He's now going to be on at 10 o'clock, and Conan O'Brien's now moving to his slot. And he had a very sweet ending. Did you see it?
Yes, I did. I saw it.
Do you want to describe it?
Well, what happened was he said in the 17 years we've been on, a lot of people on the staff have had babies, have gotten married, have fallen in love, and he brought out all of the children that 68 children. It was like that Octomom reunion 10 years from now. And there they were.
All of the kids who have been born doing the show.
During the run of the Jay Leno show. These kids, look at that kid in the front. You know he's going to be a performer.
Oh, so these were all the kids that were born during the entire run of his show.
Like a fertility clinic.
They were all doing it late at night while Jay Leno was on.
They got it on.
They were looking around, boy.
And Jay said that he could do, what did he say? He could do lots of things for people, like getting them tickets to The View.
And getting them
He
pregnant,
sure did.
apparently.
He mentions us a lot. For some
He's always
reason,
been a good friend to us, and we wish him well.
I love Jay.
he's a great guy.
Jay.
For some reason, that finale, I tweeted this because it's not me. It's not my usual thing. I felt very teary when I saw it. Why?
I saw your tweet.
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
Unusually sentimental.
It just
you were
hit
at that
you.
moment.
I'm not that sentimental, but there's something.
It's unusual.
But listen, I'm a human, okay? Do I not bleed like other people? Do I not?
You know, there's a big question about now when he comes on at 10 o'clock at night. Is this going to... It doesn't. You don't have to have too high a rating to be successful because it's much less expensive than the big, dramatic shows and mystery. So they're talking about, is this going to change the face of television if he makes it or doesn't make it?
I get to go to bed earlier, and I get to see him when I'm a little bit more with it. 10 o'clook, I think that's a perfect time. I can't wait to watch it.
It's going to change everything, I think, because once a show can be successful on the cheap, look at the reality shows. That's what happened to television.
Look at our show. Talk about being successful on the cheap. You don't want to hear of it. Believe us. And on that note, we'll be right back. We'll do it.
That's for sure.
All the producers are saying, yeah. Is anybody listening? Former First Lady Nancy Reagan very often watches The View, and we hear from her, and whatever gives her solace is fine with me.
Yeah.
But now in Vanity Fair, she has said that she's still in touch with her husband, late President Ronald Reagan, and she says that sometimes at night especially she sees him and she talks to him, and she really thinks that he is there. So, I mean, there are people who do talk to their loved ones. It's usually a husband or a wife who's departed. George Burns used to say that he talked to Gracie all the time.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think she says? Where'd you leave the keys to the car? I mean, what does she say?
Advice, I think
sometimes it gives people comfort to talk. For me, I tried. It was a little creepy for me when I tried to talk to my grandmother. I felt really silly because I feel like she's up there, but she doesn't have time to be watching me and
she didn't talk
what I'm
back.
doing. She didn't talk back, so I don't do it.
I think upstairs from you. What do you mean?
I believe she's up there in heaven, but I don't think she's watching down.
Where up there? Where?
This is what gives one great solace. You believe that there are, that people live on. They live on somewhere, and because there's this fear of death. So it's part of the basis of so many religions. Sometime we're all going to be together. You don't really die, and it gives one solace.
I keep them alive in my family. I keep them alive in my act. When you come to see me do stand-up, I talk about my Aunt Rose, my mother. I have a whole bunch of, I have a slideshow of them, and that's how I keep them alive, in my head.
But when you go home, my grandmother, when she was, my mama, who passed away this year, but I only remember her talking to my grandfather, Arthur, whenever she was mad. Whenever we were, making a mess in the house or ticking her off, she'd say, Arthur, and she would talk to him that way, and I really believe that. I don't know, I always felt like she still relied on him, still felt as though he was with her, and made us feel as though he was still with us. So I still talk to her.
Do you remember the show Hello, Dolly? Where she's going to Dolly wants to get married again, and she keeps saying, Ephraim, give me a sign, give me a sign. There is that. I mean, I think we all, if there's someone we care about, sort of, whether we talk to them or not, there are times when you wish you could or feel their presence, So.
Yeah. I remember I was Sanford and Son.
Whatever gets you through the night.
Through the night, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have, what could get some people through the night?
This is great. I'm really excited. I used to be on a show called...
How do you like that for transition?
I used to be on a sitcom called Less Than Perfect with Andy Dick, Eric Roberts, Sarah Rue, Andrew Parker, Zach Levi. And I just found out that Lifetime is picking up old episodes of Less Than Perfect. So you can see, besides me doing The View, you can see Less Than Perfect all the time on Lifetime. It used to be on ABC. It's coming back. I believe it makes its debut this evening.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go to Lifetime and see Less Than Perfect all the time.
Some people are more than perfect, and we're talking about Paris Hilton. And she will be on with us right after we come back. Why are you laughing? Right after we come back in a minute.